Good evening. I've had another go at the Jersey Evening Post cryptic crossword. Found it pretty difficult today. Filled in the majority of the clues quickly, and then was stuck all day, just leaving it, going off and doing some jobs, coming back and having a look. And I think I've got it, but there's a couple of clues that I'm not sure about. We could have one of these embarrassing situations where I fill it all in and it doesn't work again, which is amusing, I suppose. A one across, usually a mendacious person in the kin group. Mendacious popped up the other day, and it's not a word I use terribly often, and it means that somebody who tells lies is mendacious. So I thought it was liar, and the kin group is family, so it's liar in family, which is familiarly, meaning usually. So quite a nice little clue. Then I have a look at some down clues. Part of the film of a game of snooker, there was the thing about Stephen Hendry a week or so ago, and it mentioned something about films, and the answer was frame. So I went with frame. Two down. How a large meal is eaten by a male. It starts with M, so I was pretty sure that it would be man something. And then if he's eaten a large meal, he'd be full. So I went with manfully. I'm just going to turn my microphone down a touch. I don't think it'll make a huge difference. Let's turn it down to minus 13 dB, which is what I did yesterday. And I turned it up again. Mad stuff. Let's have a look. Oh yes, three down. Envoy at the French entrance. So I went with le for the in French, gate for entrance, and then legate, which isn't a word again, a bit like mendacious, that I often use. But I guess it's some kind of political flunky of some description. Four down. Oh, this was sweet. Partly open a container. It's that old joke, when is a door not a door? When it's ajar. So partly open a container, a jar. Five down. Runs to get some of the decorating equipment. So I immediately thought of ladders, because decorating equipment, you'd need ladders, and you get ladders in your stockings if you wear them. And those are runs. Those are loads of broken stitches. So that worked rather well. At this point, you can imagine, I was thinking, you've just got this whole crossword thing absolutely sorted. I have to say, there was an article in The Guardian today about the TV series Ludwig, and the chap who writes the Guardian crossword had been a consultant. He and another crossword writer had been consultants on the programme. And at the end of the article, they said, thank you very much. They'd run a competition to write clues for the word Shanghai. And they said, these are the two runners up, and then this is the winning one. And I looked at all three clues, knowing that the answer was Shanghai. Not a clue. Not a one. The second one, I think, which was a double definition, I did get, but only a very obscure meaning of Shanghai. So I've got a long way to go. But anyway, this is fun. Cautious when in custody. I got this. Guarded is a nice double definition. Cautious, guarded, and then guarded because you're in custody. I think I probably had a look at 9 down at this point, taking a flight in a certain direction. And I thought it was going to be downstairs, but I didn't write that in because I thought that was taking a bit of a risk. And I moved on. What else have we got? What's 6 down? I will repeat, being unable to read and write. I've got a little bit better at spotting these. I will be I'll. And if you repeat something, you iterate it or you reiterate it. And ironically, I'm making a mess of this because you end up with illiterate, meaning unable to read or write. as I incompetently failed to write the word in. 7 across. Accumulate knowledge of renal disorder. Renal disorder means it's an anagram of renal, and that's learn. Learn meaning, oh dear, I've written that in the wrong direction. This is not going well. Illiterate. I got distracted by my phone going ping. My father's just had a hip replacement operation, and I'm getting updates on his progress. He's up and about, apparently. It's amazing, isn't it? It's just amazing. 10 across, the unfairness of being a union member. Okay, you'd need to know that the actors union in the UK is called Equity. I think there's something different in the States. But if you're in equity, you end up with inequity, meaning unfairness. So you're in the union, equity, and it means unfairness. What is 13 across? Leases out artists' stands. I had a grumble about this the other day because there was an anagram for this word, and they described it as school equipment, and it's easels is an anagram of leases, and it means the things that artists use, of course. I'm avoiding 11 across because although I've got an answer for it, I'm not convinced. 17 across, likewise, I've got an answer for it, but I'm not convinced. Let's try 14 down. Oh, yes. Good-looking person you may break up with. This did take me a long time. But I thought, right, it's going to be a word that means good-looking and is something to do with breaking things up. And I finally came up with smashing. And so somebody could be described as a smasher, as in that they're good-looking. And obviously that's smashing is breaking things up. 21 across I got pretty quickly. Car part likely to wear out, and because it's got that question mark at the end, I thought it was just a single cryptic definition, and it probably means a car part. And I was just going through bits of the car, and I came up with exhaust, which of course means to wear out. If you exhaust something, you use it all up or wear it out. 23 across took me a while. The people living at Peterhead, so I was pretty confident it started with P. And then our top people is the definition. And eventually I got presidents. So it's residents, the people living, and with a P on the front, at Peterhead, presidents. It did take me a while. 20 down, insult over tea cakes. Well, I have put buns in because they are tea cakes. But I've not heard of buns as being an insult or insulting or anything to do with that. So I'm not sure, but it fits, and I couldn't think of anything else, so we've gone with that. 16 down, deferred action but served the food. I was pretty confident was waited, as in a waiter waiting and serving you your food, and also you've waited and you've put off acting on something. We may as well put 17 across, even though I'm not really sure about it. It says man in a charabang, and in the word charabang is Arab, and I just wasn't sure if Arab was fundamentally male. Would it not? I mean, is an Arab always a man? I wasn't comfortable with it, but anyway, it's in charabang and it fits the space, so we'll roll with it. Chase money bag containing a letter. A money bag is a purse, and if you add the letter U, it doesn't say what letter you have to add, but it's adding a letter, you end up with pursue, meaning chase. Purse with the U in it. I'm still none the wiser for taking a flight in a certain direction. Let's have a little look. 12 down. Report of a loaded gun. Okay, this one took me a long time. Again, I just went through all the words relating to guns, and I came up with bullet, and then bullet in. The bullet is in the gun, and a bulletin is a report of some description. Huge stormy foul weather has just kicked off behind me, so I'm slightly distracted because I can hear the whole place is sort of rattling in the background. 18 across, holy letter permitted. I immediately got allowed as permitted, and then we put a letter in front of permitted, in this case an H, to make hallowed. Sorry, not in front of permitted, in front of allowed, to make hallowed, which means holy. So that was nice. 19 down. Oh, this was a good one. I struggled with it in one sense. Sports merchandise say, that say bit means it's going to be a homophone, so it's going to be two words that sound the same. And sports could be wears, as in he's sporting a nice tie today, he's wearing a nice tie. And merchandise could be wares, W-A-R-E-S, stuff that is sold. And I wasn't sure how you know whether it's W-E-A-R-S or W-A-R-E-S. But when I looked at 22 across, and it said coach the coaches, and I thought, is that train? Because of train coaches and training and stuff, then it's going to be wares like that. So I've now got an end to this word, and I'm reckoning ing is quite likely. And then we're going to go with, well, I thought 11 across, they are usually at odds, would be bets. And that's just a single cryptic definition, isn't it? They are usually at odds. They are at odds. There would be odds. Oh, I wasn't really happy with it, but I went for bets because it fits. And then we've got, eventually staring at it for a while, we've got descending. So I'll just quickly fill my name in. Obviously, I didn't really do it in 15 minutes and 34. It took me a lot longer than that, but we won't go through that apologetic yet again. Taking a flight, so it's a flight of stairs in a certain direction, means descending, going down rather than going up. So there we go. I found descending difficult. I was unsure about bets, unsure about Arab, unsure about buns. Although I'm more sure now, having spoken it out loud. This is quite a helpful activity from that point of view. And presidents took me a while, but I got there. And I think tomorrow will be my last one, because I've got to go back to the real world. Let's see how everybody else did. Binky stormed it. Stephen, Mike, D, Mr. Koala, Baz, and Dav, Frab, Ali, Andy. Oh, I'm always glad when Bazar has had a go. Jas, Jill. I think I know who Jas might be. I think that's 3 people. And that's their initials. Jill and Trish. Excellent. I mean, that is far more. Those are far more representative times for how long it took me on and off today than that rather ridiculous 15 minutes and 34 seconds, which I've done now, having already been through it once. Anyway, there we go. I've got one more to go. Well, I will keep doing it, but I'm going to record myself one more time tomorrow, if I can do it. Fingers crossed. Cheers, everyone. Bye.